This is an email from Susie, and Susie says, I'm writing to you to ask whether you have any advice about needing people present to see you eat or not, to see me eat, not move / buy things, aka tackle the eating disorder in any way. I worry that people won't believe me if they don't see me do these things, and I feel as if don't have permission. I'm being a fraud. When I do push through these feelings and eat on my own, I often have complete meltdowns. And sometimes I end up telling someone later, my mum, for example. It's so frustrating. Do you have any advice? Sorry, this sounds pathetic. I used to do exactly the same stuff. I used to call it exhibition eating. I felt that, especially if I was going to eat anything other than my safe foods, I had to have other people present to witness it. And I imagine that a lot of that for me was because, especially family were always telling me that I needed to eat more food. So it's like, if I was going to eat, especially if I was going to eat something that was, yes, not a safe food, then I would want them to see that I'd done it so that I could, basically, I guess I was trying to build evidence to support the case that I didn't have an eating disorder by eating in front of people. It just meant, though, that I would save eating until people could be around. I know that sometimes, a lot of the time, I would get really frustrated by it because, like, I'd be hungry, or it would be one of my special eating times where I was allowed to eat, but if there was no one in the house, and especially if it was the sort of situation where there was no one in the house and I knew that somebody was coming back soon, I feel I'd have to wait until they got home and before I could eat, and then I'd be getting just frustrated and I'd get mad at them for being late and getting later, and it would just, it would come out, then they'd be home and I'd be all tetchy and sort of like, well, you've been a long time, like, so what? They can do what they want. But it did, most people were probably thinking, well, why does that affect you? Why are you mad that I've been out for a long time? But it did affect me because I wasn't allowed to eat until they got home. I also think that, like, my mum especially, I bet she knew that I did that I just, I wasn't fooling anyone by waiting until people were around to eat. It wasn't like they were like, oh, she's eating, obviously doesn't have an eating disorder. I don't know what I was thinking, but whatever, I had an eating disorder, I was mental. So that was definitely one of the things that was so annoying that I had to do. And not just the eating, also, the sit still stuff, because I would do exactly the same thing. I'd really want to sit down, but if there'd be no one around, I used to feel that I'd have to wait until somebody was around to see me sitting down. How insane does that sound when you say that out loud? I have to wait so somebody's around so that they can see me sitting down. Oh my God. So I think it's pretty common, and it's just definitely one of those things that it's like most of the eating stuff, sort of things, you have to do the exact opposite of what your eating disorder brain wants you to do. So for me, that meant even if I thought somebody was going to come home in the next 5 or 10 minutes, no fucking way would I wait so that I could eat when they were home so they could see me eating. It's like, you just got to be like, no, I've got to do it right now. I'm doing it right now. And I'd eat, before they came home. It was almost easier for me when I was in my eating disorder. If, say, I knew somebody was going to be completely out all day, then I wouldn't feel that like, oh, I have to wait so much until they're in before I can eat. It was if I knew that they were going to be in relatively soon, so there's a chance that they could be in to see me eat. Anyway, so it's all messed up anyway. But, you have to do the opposite thing. And the meltdown comes from, it's an eating disorder tantrum, isn't it? Be ready for it. Let it happen. And then keep doing the things that you know that you need to do anyway. The meltdowns won't carry on forever. Don't let them intimidate you. Keep doing what you know that you need to do.